All right, everybody, welcome back for the second installment of Fridays with Flanigan. I had to take last week off because, unfortunately for me, I was traveling throughout Germany. If you want to think about another perk of going to graduate school, think of the travel. All right, this past week I went to Switzerland, Germany, and France as part of an exchange where we went and visited graduate students and faculty at a university in Germany, the University of Freiburg. So it's definitely not an experience that I would have had if I wouldn't have gone to graduate school. So that's another perk. Free travel, see the world, meet really cool people. All right, and so the question that I have for this week, well, it's two questions, but they essentially overlap, is how do you begin thinking about what project you want to work on in graduate school? Or how do you choose the research area that you're focusing on? All right, the first thing to remember is that when you get to graduate school, you don't have to have your entire research trajectory planned out for you the moment that you get here. All right? And so when I got to graduate school, I knew that I wanted to study classroom learning and motivation, right? But that's super broad. There's a lot that goes into classroom learning and academic motivation, but I knew that was the area that I was interested in. So I made it a priority to try to narrow down that really broad focus into something more specific and meaningful so that I could have something to study. All right, so how did I do that? Well, first I started thinking about the coursework from the classes that I was taking and also the research articles that I was reading. And as I was absorbing all of that information, I tried to think, what is it in here that I'm really passionate about? What's the one or two topics that I'd like to study and, become an expert in? And looking through research articles and taking classes isn't actually what led me to my research area, nor were the research activities that I was involved in with my advisor. I currently study the impact that readily available mobile technology has on our ability to self-regulate or to guide our own learning processes in and out of the classroom, and also academic motivation. You're less motivated to pay attention to a lecture if you know that you can check Facebook at any time, or if you're taking notes on a laptop. Social media or online shopping are always just a click away, and so that can compete with your motivation to stay on task. Right? And so that's what I'm interested in, but that's not what I was researching when I got to graduate school. Right, the way that I arrived at that research interest was actually through my teaching assistantship. When I first got here, I taught a class called Strategies for Academic Success, and this class is focused on teaching undergraduates specific study and learning strategies that they can use to improve their learning and get better grades and not flunk out of college. And while teaching that class, I made a point to get to know my students and figure out what were the factors that were influencing how well they learned. And a lot of my students said that the distraction caused by cell phones and also laptops made it difficult for them to stay focused while they were studying outside of the class, or also to pay attention during lectures. They were always wanting to scroll through Twitter, through Facebook, check Instagram, and the like. And I could relate to those struggles. I think just about everybody in society can. Mobile technology is everywhere. People text while they're at work. Unfortunately, they text while they drive. People text while they're out on dates. People use their mobile technology in all aspects of their life. And so their learning experiences are no different. So this is something that I could relate to. It was also something that was a big problem for my students. I looked around at the literature and I saw that nobody was really doing a lot of research in this area as specific to the impact that mobile technology has on learning. There's a lot of studies related to mobile technology in driving, mobile technology in the workplace, but there was surprisingly very little about mobile technology in academics. So that's how I arrived at my line of research. So I didn't get into graduate school with a well-carved out path. I don't think most of my colleagues in graduate school knew what they were going to study day one and have just stuck to that. Everybody's interests evolve over time, and that's okay. The key thing is to stay curious and to keep looking for new topics, concepts, phenomenon that interest you and are things that you'd like to study. Because that's the best thing about being an academic. Every day you get to study and learn more about topics that interest you. All right? So don't feel pressured to think that you have to have a well-defined research trajectory the instant you get to graduate school, because you don't. And no matter how well-defined you think your research interests are, I would bet that they will evolve over time while you're in graduate school. All right, and so I hope that answers your question. And until next time, over and out.